Chief Justice Raymond Zondo is investigating an SMS sent by legal commentator Ismail Abramjee to Parliament's legal counsel. The judgment was related to one of Public Protector Busisiwe Mkhwebane's rescission applications to try and stop Parliament's impeachment inquiry. We discuss this further. We're joined by Zikhona and Ndlebe, researcher at Judges Matter. Thank you very much for availing yourself this afternoon. What should we essentially understand about this matter?
I think it's a complex matter because the Public Protector statement has brought up quite a few issues, and the main issue is that there have been conversations. It's alleged that there are conversations between a justice of the Constitutional Court, Justice Mkhwebane, with an outsider of the court, and the conversations, it's alleged, were related. It's implied, basically, that those conversations related to pending cases at the Constitutional Court that dealt with or concerned the Public Protector. So that on its own, it's a big issue, and it speaks to the integrity of the judiciary, because that has an impact. If it is indeed true that there was such conversation, that will have an impact, a negative impact on the integrity of the Constitutional Court. But as the Chief Justice has said, he will be investigating the information that has come to light and emanating from the statement made by the Public Protector.
I think it's somewhat 18 phone calls that were exchanged between Abramjee and Justice Mkhwebane. When you speak of putting the integrity of the judiciary at risk, if you will, this alone, maybe if we just go according to the court of public opinion, does this also not add fuel to that fire?
If you look at this factor isolatedly, I would definitely say that it does add fuel to the fire, because there are 18 telephone calls between a sitting judge, Justice Mkhwebane, and an outsider from the court. But then again, if we consider the issue holistically, Justice Mkhwebane and Abramjee are members of the Pretoria Legacy Foundation. And as far as we are aware, Justice Mkhwebane is the chairperson of that foundation, and Abramjee is the spokesperson of that foundation. And they, as Justice Mkhwebane has explained to the Constitutional Court justices, including the Chief Justice, that they do know each other. They stay in the same area, and they are members of the same foundation. So if we look at this issue in that context, it should not really raise a lot of eyebrows that there were conversations or telephone calls between the two, Justice Mkhwebane and Abramjee, if you look at it holistically.
Right. Something that is raising eyebrows or questions is the stance of some justices from the Constitutional Court. They've remained mum on this situation. Is that unusual?
Well, we would not really expect all the justices of the Constitutional Court to speak out in respect of this issue, because the Chief Justice, as the head of that court, has already made a statement, and the statement is clear, and it states that the Chief Justice will make sure that the investigation is concluded expeditiously and hopefully by the end of next week, and that Justice Mkhwebane, including Justice Ndlebe, have provided explanations with regards to their relations to Mr. Abramjee. So we would not really expect all the justices of the Constitutional Court to come out and voice out their views.
Sure. Just from the work that you do, what we're seeing here, maybe not just related to this particular case, is this something new? Or is this something that actually does happen? We just happen to not know about it, for lack of a better phrasing, where you'll find a justice giving information, quite privileged information, to so-called commentators or legal experts.
I think we must just first clarify that this is an allegation. So it's not proven yet that Justice Mkhwebane or Justice Ndlebe might have actually given information, privileged and confidential information to Mr. Abramjee. It's not proven. There still needs to be an investigation, and there has to be some evidence, concrete evidence, that this indeed took place. And but then to answer your question, in terms of the Code of Judicial Conduct, that is basically guidelines for judges. Judges are not supposed to discuss cases with outsiders of the court. And this is evident from the case of Justice Zondo, who is the Judge President of the Western Cape Division of the High Court, and that has been an ongoing case. And it relates to this. It's in essence, it relates to judges giving information to people or other judges who are outside the court. So it's not something that should happen, and if it does happen, it would raise serious concerns. And as I've said at the beginning of our conversation, if it is indeed proven that Justice Mkhwebane did disclose confidential information to Mr. Abramjee, that would be a huge concern, and it would warrant proceedings to be undertaken by the JSC, the tribunal, and the JCC.
The burden of proof, do you perceive that this will be something quite difficult to do?
From the statement of the Public Protector, because it refers to telephone calls, and from saying that there were 18 telephone calls between Justice Mkhwebane and Mr. Abramjee, I don't think that is concrete proof that Justice Mkhwebane disclosed confidential information to Mr. Abramjee. There needs to be something more. And whether there is more, it will definitely depend on a proper investigation being conducted by the JSC and obviously headed by the Chief Justice. So, but we're just going to have to await and see what happens. And I'm not certain whether there has been a complaint filed with the JSC yet. But from the Chief Justice's statement, an investigation needs to take place, and findings based on that investigation we'll have to wait and see what those findings are.
Fair enough. Zikhona Ndlebe is a researcher with Judges Matter. Thank you very much for joining us on this Friday.